Welcome everybody to the Get Bit Podcast, the podcast for nerds, for blurs. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. We are the hosts with the most. I myself, Black Spartan, to your man, to your next, to your left and right, to Far Right TV and Short Guy Joe. Gentlemen, how are you doing this Labor Day weekend?
Too many games, not enough money.
Ain't that the truth? Joe.
I'm full of different vaccines at the moment, so we'll see what happens to me later.
Ooh, that sounds like a fun night.
Yeah, I got the flu shot, the COVID booster, and a new round of Hep B because that's something you need to do when you're older.
Ooh, that sounds like a nice little cocktail.
It's okay. I got Outlaws to play tomorrow. While I sit there cocooned on the couch, shivering in a 90-degree room.
And as you can tell, we are a little bit older, which means that words do fly at the same time, guys. There may be things that might be shown in trailers and in movie snips that might be too intense for younger viewers. So, hey, you've been warned. Aside from that, we'll go ahead and get into it because others, more importantly, Tafari, who is probably the biggest Sonic fan I know, had sat there and said, basically to Paramount, you better have something, and if not, we will be pissed.
It's just because they did the whole rollout. Like the one day I don't go into the city, apparently they did the broadcast and like all the different countries or in the different cities and different locations. So there was like Eggman projectors and Shadow projectors, and they were being vague. It was like something big tomorrow, and then they changed the caption to trailer. I'm like, all right, this is legit because y'all been wrong on Twitter more than GTA fans. So.
Damn. With that being said, if you've been under a rock, the Sonic 3 trailer did drop, and it did not disappoint.
Sonic, you finally found your family.
Try to keep up.
I know it hasn't always been easy, but you didn't change who you are in here.
Yeah, in my lungs.
Or your heart.
There's been a high-level security breach. And we need Team Sonic's immediate assistance. Project Shadow is far beyond anything we've ever encountered.
Shadow's story began a lot like yours, Sonic. But where you found family and friends, Shadow found only pain and loss.
All right, we got a rogue alien on the loose. How do we find it?
Start with the giant fireball?
I love it. Let's start with a giant fireball.
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here.
You're a colorful bunch.
We don't want to fight you.
Actually, Sonic, I would like to fight.
No! My turn. Can we just talk about this? He's too powerful. Sonic! I can't believe I'm saying this, but we need you-know-who.
This is a bad idea.
When has that ever stopped me?
Doctor.
We have visitors.
This is sad, Robotnik, even for you.
We need your help.
On one condition.
What? Do this! If I can't rule the world, I might as well save it. I need room.
Sir, I don't have the proper materials.
Found some.
When we're done, there won't be anything left.
Hey, no cheat code! What did you do?
What I had to. Welcome home, my boy.
It's impossible.
Is it?
It couldn't be.
Couldn't it?
Are you?
In the saggy flesh.
Well, guys, that was the trailer for Sonic 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. You know, the only movie that Jim Carrey has sat there and said that he would come back with no issue, and I'm already sold. But Tafari, I'm gonna start with you because you're the biggest Sonic fan out of all of us. So I'm gonna start with you.
This is basically Sonic Adventure 2 and Shadow the Hedgehog, the movie. So one, I'm hyped for that. I'm curious how much of the story they're going to go into. Because people think they showed too much, but I'm like, there's still so much they can do. Like, I'm curious if Rouge the Bat shows up, if we get an Amy Rose.
Yeah.
I need to see the bowling incident of 1984.
Say it one more time, Joe.
I need to see the bowling incident of 1984.
So in the Knuckles show, they make a reference to what I think is the origin of Shadow's people showing up, and I think they're trying to tie it back to the show, which you don't need to see it to watch the movie, but it's still fun. But also, Keanu Reeves as Shadow works for me. I know a lot of people wanted other actors, but I'm kind of digging it.
Every time I hear Keanu Reeves talking, and it could be just because I got through I replayed Phantom Liberty of Cyberpunk 77, but I just hear him. Yeah, thank you, Joe. I hear Silverhand. I literally hear Silverhand coming out of Shadow, which isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad that I'm hearing Silverhand because I want to see Keanu Reeves.
It's the right version of Keanu.
Yeah. So I'm not knocking that. I actually like that. And of course, Robotnik is Jim Carrey as Robotnik is always gonna be perfect casting to me. Always will be perfect casting.
No, it's Robotnik's.
Well,
yeah, they have. They brought back. I keep missing
his dad, Gerald Robotnik.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Gerald is supposed to be his granddad. But I'm curious if they're. I'm curious if they're making that his dad and Maria, his sister, I believe, versus his grandpa and cousin. Because I believe in the game, I think the old guy from Gunn is also either related to them or a friend of the family, and that's like his big grudge too. So I'm curious how they are tweaking that. Also, are we just gonna fully blam this toddler on screen, or how is this gonna work?
So we're all in agreement. We're gonna see a child death in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah. Or in some way, it's gonna be mass to the point. Well, let's be honest. They're going to probably give it the Disney treatment and not show the act, or I should say, show it in such a way to where it's not considered violent or self-destruct or soul destruction. We're gonna see it in some point. We are gonna see her take an L somehow, some way. We do know that.
I could see them opening with that and then cutting to X amount of years later, because this is supposed to be 50 years in the past that it happens, but or at least around 50 years, and then Shadow gets unthawed or it gets put on ice at some point, and Gerald gets executed between then, which clearly they're not doing because he's alive. Also with the Akira slide, Tails, just I don't know what Tails did deserve the Spartan kick to the chest. And then Sonic getting the Super Vegeta kick to the gut.
No, that was Knuckles getting the Vegeta kick.
The Knuckles got the arm.
Which confuses me because he turned his hand the correct way for the wrist to rotate. It's like, what did he do?
Just the surprise. The surprise, and it's always the Akira slide, which I always find interesting, is always going to be prevalent in any movie.
Oh yeah, Knuckles did get the kick, but we don't know how his hand was rotated in that glove. Could be opposites for all we know. Echidnas fight different. I'm curious to see if
Echidnas fight different because he's Australian. That's why his wrist rotates the wrong way.
Maybe. Hold on, whole boomerang punch, but
right.
Can we blame this on ray gun somehow?
I did see they got this. They brought back the Flames of Disaster. Also, why are we breaking? I wonder if all the places they showed the teaser stuff is where they're going in the movie, because they were at like Big Ben and like the whole final fight scene from what was it? Far From Home.
Yeah, it probably was. I would agree with that, but no. But I agree with you. It's interesting, and right now Paramount needs wins. Paramount needs serious wins, so they're kind of banking on this one.
Yeah, sorry, Mufasa. You should have picked a different month.
Just
Oh no, Mufasa's going to be the winner of that. There's no holding down Lion King.
ugh,
But basically, here's what's going to happen. We're going to buy all the ticket for the children, stuff them in one theater, while we go to the other theater.
still though, that's going to be interesting during that box office of December. Who would actually come out on top, Sonic or Mufasa?
Yeah, move over, Barbenheimer. The Shadow King has arrived.
I'm just saying it could work out that way too, but we can actually find that out come December when it definitely does come out. But
so, question here: does that mean Sonic 4 we get Silver coming back and Terminator style saying Sonic's the reason the world's destroyed?
If they do any kind of time travel or even mention it, I could see them leading into that.
Yeah,
I feel like Deadpool has also opened a lot of loopholes for the movie industry because I feel like a lot of people are going to be doing these joint films, but it's not going to be a numbered film because, like, this is Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's still technically not Deadpool 3. So I feel like I could see either a Sonic and Shadow or a Sonic and Tails or Sonic and Knuckles or Shadow the Hedgehog spin-off movie series, whatever.
yeah,
they'll progress the
They would probably get
story.
a full Shadow origin miniseries.
I would be surprised if we see the Black Arms in this movie.
mm-hmm. I mean, we're already seeing Shadow getting powers in his own game, getting Doom powers. So
Doom powers, but which I'm going to blame the weird space. I haven't finished the original Sonic generation still, but I'm going to blame the weird middle space of time that they're stuck in that game on that. But the fact that they reference the Black Arms, at least Shadow. The bowling incident in the show could be the government shutting down the Ark. I also thought they've got to introduce more characters. I wouldn't be mad at Big the Cat, but please, anyone else?
I could see them introducing more characters because that means they have a lot more faith in it going into spinoffs. Kind of like what they did with Knuckles. They gave Knuckles a 6-episode spinoff, and that was successful. So the same could be done for other Sonic characters. So it makes sense.
So Vector the Gator, voiced by Terry Crews. Got it.
Oh my God! Stop giving them ideas.
Please.
As long as he doesn't say find the computer room, I won't have PTSD.
Well, we gotta see what happens come December. But before we move on to the Nintendo Direct trailers that we did see, because the Nintendo Direct did drop a new episode this week, we do need to give our impressions on a game that also came out, Star Wars Outlaws. Again, we're not going to go into heavy spoilers. This is just us giving our impressions of what we played. I know I played, Joe played, Tafari. Have you had a chance to check out Outlaws yet?
I've seen some gameplay, and it's actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I feel like everyone kind of thought this was doomed on arrival, and it's actually getting a better response than I expected.
No, that would be Concord.
Dude, that game had all the right things going for it and just nothing when it came out.
If you want to talk about DOA, Concord is definitely DOA. But Outlaws, Joe, you go first on your take on it.
I mean, I'm not very far into the game. I just now got the speeder bike, and I'm chose to align myself with Crimson Dawn. And now I'm just exploring, picking up pickup missions as I go along, exploring the first world. So I'm not very far in, but I am enjoying it. It's very refreshing getting to play a Star Wars game where I am not a laser sword wielding space wizard.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see more of the world, just more of daily life of people and whatnot. And you just get to be basically Han Solo, except female this time with the pet. I had like the best. I don't know if you did this or not, but did you get to eat at the cantina in the thing?
Mm-hmm.
We had like all the little mini QTEs to eat.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah.
I don't like slicing at the moment, but that's because I have terrible rhythm.
And I'll add to that because like I said, I'm a little bit into the game myself. It is definitely worth playing if you did actually have some hangups about Outlaws, just because the flux of Star Wars right now, which we'll go into about a minute or two. But Outlaw is definitely a great game. It is exactly what you expect from a non-Jedi point of view game, where this is basically focused on a different telling of a story on the Outer Rim. The main character is actually great. A little bit of Jack and Dexter, a little bit. No, that's wrong. Ratchet and Clank, just because of the pet because of her partner, which is the pet on her shoulder, gave me some Ratchet and Clank vibes, but in a good way, because Ratchet and Clank is still one of my favorite PS games. But outside of that, I'm not going to go too much into the story because the story itself is very intriguing. I don't want to give any of that away, but I will say I will continue playing this because, again, Outlaws didn't have the best representation when it came out, but now that it is out, people are playing it. It's not on Game Pass yet because, let's be honest, unless you have Ubisoft Plus, unless you have that with your Game Pass, that's how you can play Outlaws right now. All of the Game Pass games, they usually come on there maybe a month later, month or two, just how the way it is with certain exclusives. But Outlaws is definitely fun. I will definitely say that. But kind of going into the other thing we were talking about was the Acolyte. Now, for all those that don't know, Star Wars: The Acolyte is not getting a season 2. It was canceled, much to the joy of what are we calling these people?
Star Wars fans. I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. It just threw me off.
It's the Willy joke again. Star Wars fans versus Star Wars fans. They've ruined Star Wars.
Yeah, and to just clarify, because I like the Acolyte. It was just, for me, the last episode didn't add up to what they were trying to accomplish, because every episode up until that one was intriguing. It was made you think. It was trying to make you go into lore. It's just the last episode didn't make any sense as far as what they were trying to do. And I can give a series forgiveness on an episode, because let's be honest, especially when you're doing the final episode of the first season, it's either hit or miss. And sometimes the hit, you're guaranteed a season 2, maybe season 3. Sometimes the miss, you're in Netflix territory. But the thing is, it's just that with the Acolyte's final episode of the first season, I felt like it was enough warranted there for a second episode. But like Joe said, you got Star Wars fans out there that were doing their best to complain. And what'd you say, Joe? The mouse forgives better. The mouse doesn't forgive as much as the mountain does.
Correct.
Which, again, it's Disney. Disney at this point is in full cleanup mode. They're not trying to waste big budget money on things that are not getting a good return on investment. So in their eyes, it's easily scrapped. But again, I think that Acolyte should get, and I say this all the time, especially when it comes to Halo. And me being a big Halo fan, I had hope for Halo on Paramount. I hated the direction it was going into. And even that got a second season and still messed up the fall of Reach.
They gave Velma a second season.
Right. You gave Velma a second season. And no,
that's because we hate watched Velma to the point it was viral.
It's one of those things I just don't get. It's like, do you hate something to the point till you give it another season? Because if so, the Acolyte should have 2 seasons guaranteed by now, if that's the case. But guys, what do you think as far as this? Because like I said, this is adding up to toxic Star Wars fandom, where if it's not a Jedi or it's not a Sith story, that they're just not going to give it its due. Because I kind of think the same thing's going to happen for Andor after its next season.
I feel like a lot of people liked Andor. Like, I didn't watch it because I feel like I got on the ship too late for that one, but I feel like I heard only good things about it.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like it requires me to rewatch Rogue One before I go into it.
No, not really. Like, they say season 2, you'll need more info on Rogue One than you will season 1.
Yeah,
season 1 really is just how you start everything.
Yeah.
But Rogue One, one of the main people from it is the star of Andor, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, with that, I don't know. I didn't dislike the Acolyte. There was just like 4 episodes in, I kind of picked up on the pacing. It's gonna be fights, backstory, fights, backstory, fights, backstory, and it feels like we just went back to the same places way too many times. Where it feels like we kind of lost the murder mystery aspect kind of quick, and it's like, okay, well, where are we going? Because after episode 5, I feel like we should have just been done with going to the past. Like one more episode of all the revelations, and then get to where we're trying to go. Once we got to them switching places and framing Soul's reason for turning out he was a dick the whole time, it was like, all right, predictable, but like, why? You just met these children. It just, I think there was a lot they could have cleaned up, but I don't think they should have just scrapped it and erased it from all the sites as fast as they did. Nor does Daphne King, or not Daphne King, but well, her too, but her and all the cast are getting just slam dunked in their comments on every page they got.
And, I mean, I agree with that too. But what about you, Joe?
Pretty much a lot of what Safari said. A lot of the fighting was not really that great either. We had a lot of unnecessary characters for almost no reason. Like, you introduce like 3 Jedi, give them names, and then off them almost an episode later. One dude who's been there since the first season just goes out like as unceremoniously as possible.
Yeah, Jordan Jackie, man. I didn't like how we just threw them away.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, cool. You got a kid who's got like double sabers and whatnot. Cool. Okay, no, that's it. She's dead. Best friend just gets his neck snapped. Not even the lightsaber fight.
Right.
I mean, I don't care about the allegories between Anakin and these kids. Like that, this is 1,000 years before the Force works in goofy ways.
Yeah,
I've been playing the Old Republic or Knights of the Old Republic or Dark Forces. Look, the Force is weird and goofy. Like, just stop trying to point at everything at the Skywalkers and say it's bad. If it doesn't have to do with the Skywalkers, there are other people in this universe, and there are other people before them and after them. Like I said, the biggest thing for me is like, was this supposed to be how the Knights of Ren was founded and then just got away from themselves? Or because like before I said, it's like you had a great murder mystery the first 3 episodes and then you just tossed it.
That's the thing. And that's what I'm getting at. It's like, how do you have something that was great in concept and then you just said we don't need it?
Yeah, like episode 5 was peak. I feel like again, Jordan like all the other Jedi was clearly brought as like fodder just to show off fight skills and scenes and cool deaths, whatever. Jordan Jackie didn't need to be thrown away that damn fast though. And then then for this man to be defeated by like a sea of space cicadas, like that was. Because then we didn't sad. We weren't.
Oh no, that one was cool because that just reminded us like, oh, they're gonna Starship Trooper this dude.
I was like, make him come down missing a limb or something. It's like, nope, he just chopped his way out of all of those. So,
I mean, it wasn't quick. If that wasn't a quick edit, I don't know what is. That's
throwing him away. I was kind of like, they made up for the Wookiee not fighting in the flashback, but again, I thought we were gonna maybe see that these witches turned into. What is it, the Night Sisters or like the early stages of the Knights? I was curious to see what became.
No, they're Night Sisters, but like
the first, it's like the earlier.
That was the other thing that bothered me. Like they completely dropped the other mother, like just completely. Like she saves the twin that falls, and then we never hear anything about her ever again. Like you just completely just like made it. What was the character in the Cosby Show?
No, you mean Judy from Family Matters?
That's it.
She went upstairs. She went upstairs and never came back.
What's the older version of that? They Chuck Cunningham's Mother Townsend.
Yeah. Pretty
or
much.
Mother or whatever the other mother, the Zabrak mom was.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. But it's the whole thing of just, like I said before, it amazes me how fans can bully Paramount into doing Sonic the right way, but yet at the same time, that very same two-edged sword will just sit there and anything Star Wars puts out, folks immediately want to crap on. This is what makes me worry about the Skeleton Crew, because as Joe puts it, Goonies in space, which has already been done because there's another movie that's already been out about that. Does that mean that we don't want to see Skeleton Crew? Absolutely not. I still want to see what it's about. But I just hope it gets a better shake than the Acolyte does. But I also hope it has a great story too, because again, Acolyte, you had a wonderful murder mystery, and for reasons beyond our comprehension, you abandoned it. I don't understand. But
I just wanted to see like what was going to become what, like saber whips. When did those become practical and stop being used? Did this coven come from another coven, or do they have a sister coven somewhere? When did they finally run away to that planet that the Night Sisters were from in Clone Wars, and just seemed like that became their settlement because they got tired of what even was the point of the whole chant, and why did it kill all of them at once? Like there was just so
a lot of
going
unanswered
on.
questions. Yeah,
Like,
a lot of it.
Why was Kiadi-Mundi here and a split shot of Yoda and Plagueis the Wise for 2 seconds?
Now, Plagueis the Wise looked like he's a guy that was expecting his Waffle House order and was just about 5 minutes too early.
He looks like a design they would use for like a Force Unleashed villain. So I'm not mad at it, but it's just, are we going to even see that play out at all now?
That's gonna be a wonderful question. But again, it's just I hate that incels, and I'm gonna call them what they are. The incels, and they call themselves the real Star Wars fans, are rejoicing over this. And I'm like, by you being negative about anything that's being put out, you're going to kill anything new and creative that comes along because it doesn't fit your Star Wars narrative. But again, Acolyte, we give you a nice little salute off, but you know, you left, you had a wonderful plot, and for reasons beyond our comprehension, you just decided to drop it. But
I hope they give you a Blu-ray, because that show's going to get yanked. So once this quarter is over, they're definitely going to try to pull it from TV.
Oh yeah, it's going to go right in the Disney. It's going right in the Disney vault of never heard from again. But moving right along, we did have a Nintendo Direct trade. We did have a Nintendo Direct that did drop. And the first one I want to start with was basically an announcement that nobody saw coming. And honestly, I believe we're all very happy about it.
Yeah, come on. Everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss.
Super combo. I ain't never scared, never quitting is the motto.
Come on, everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take the best shot, hope you don't miss. Yeah, come on. Everybody come alive real quick. Battle of the strong, survival of the fit. Take your best shot, hope you don't miss. A new challenger is among us.
They can take it high, they can take it much farther.
Fast with the hands, eat Honda. Defend my legacy with strength and honor. Showdown, this is my event.
And with that, I'm whole. Hey, Tremaine, how's it going, sir? Good, sir. But yeah, that was the trailer, guys, for Capcom Fighting Collection 2. That's going to be coming out next year, as you can see, coming out on the PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. I'm going to tell you why I'm freaking excited, because I had to go back to where the entire listing was. And well, actually, let me go to a certain screen, because a certain screen is pretty much going to say everything that I'm feeling. That's one reason, because for all those that are about as old as the rest of us, if you've never played Power Stone, which my introduction to it was from the Sega Dreamcast. I know others may have had different iterations, but if you never played Power Stone, by far, that game should have been revised multiple times as far as you're holding the PSP version, right?
Yeah, it's the collection that has both the games on it.
So again, not just Power Stone 1, also Power Stone 2. And again, wonderful fighting games. But this is where me and Joe will probably be like, this should have been a game by itself. Project Justice. If you know the characters also from rival schools. But Project Justice is just a more complete version of Rival Schools. If you play Rival Schools, another underrated fighting game, this also is worth the money. So again, outside of the Street Fighter SNK matchups, King of Fighters, Project Justice. Yep, Project Justice, Power Stone 1 and 2, Rollback Netcode, which means you can play online. So online tournaments, I will not be surprised if it shows up in EVO or any of the fighting game tournaments next year. But you get all this in the second collection of Capcom. And what did we say, Joe, about Capcom? Capcom didn't want to be outdone by somebody.
This is almost perfect. This was almost perfect.
Yeah.
All they had to do is switch out one particular game with another one, and it would have been perfect.
Wait, which game
did you have?
Capcom Fighting Jam. The one where it's asset up the game.
Oh, gotcha. But
all they have to do is put in Techromancer.
See, but I'm like the fact, even Plasma Sword. I haven't heard of Plasma Sword. Jesus. It has been a long time since I actually heard of Plasma Sword too. But all of that, and again, I have no words except there's a reason I can keep around my PS4. Just for this collection.
That's going to be on PlayStation and Switch?
Yeah, PlayStation, Switch.
They're not on Xbox for the same reason.
Right. So,
what
can't be on Xbox. The emulation architecture is not on current gen Xbox systems.
Pretty much. ROM proof so far. But
these games that I did, I know they're probably going for a fat stack.
Ever since the announcement, I'm betting those prices have went up. I will bet money ever since that Capcom announcement. Those two games that you're holding, I guarantee those prices went up.
I've seen a couple Power Stone collections. The fact that I got them both black label with the manuals too. These things don't really use.
Oh, but I guarantee it's $60 now. If you
I think the GameCube version may go more higher.
Was there a
the PlayStation 2 version on SNK? Yeah, that's the EO version where they fixed everybody with the roll cancels and then gave the C-Stick the one-button supers.
Mm-hmm.
I did like they have the ability to immediately turn on the unlockable characters and the one-button supers, because that's probably going to be my route.
Oh yeah, it's gonna definitely bring a lot of people into that. That's why I'm looking freaking forward to it next year.
Yeah, and people wanted Power Stone online lobby for the longest, so that is a dream come true.
Me, I'm one of them. I'm up there with that and Bloody Roar.
I was watching the Maximilian dude stream, and just like the other one, he's like, "Well, we're probably just gonna give the Marvel's Capcom announcement," and then screaming. Endless screaming.
So they do a first fighting collection? Because I feel like I don't remember seeing that drop.
Well, we did cover that.
The first fighting collection was all the all the Darkstalker games, Red Earth, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yeah.
And did that one get announced recently, or was that a?
Oh, and Pocket and Gym Fighter.
Yeah, that was
last year.
That was last. Thank you, Joe. Last year. So
okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
So we're getting basically one fighting collection per year because we also got the announcements. Wow, we were really delayed tonight.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You're good.
Okay.
No, I was just saying. We're getting like one thing a year. We also got the announcement of the Marvel's Capcom collection.
Uh-oh.
It's got the digital release date of September 12th, and then the physical will be November 22nd.
Okay. But still, I mean, oh, we are getting effing spoiled, and I'm not complaining one doggone bit.
I do wonder what their next collection will be after this, though, because, I mean, we can't do JoJo's Bizarre Adventure because Namco has those rights.
Bloody
I don't
Roar?
know if Bloody Roar is not Capcom.
Ooh.
We may not be able to do Street Fighter EX plus Alpha because that may go to Eureka.
Hang on.
So newly listed
Technomancer has to be in this.
I'll say newly listed Power Stone collections are going for about $60, and then there's
Told
a few
you.
people. There's a few people who are just few people 88, 88, 99. Then you get to the 150s. And then most of these are definitely out of reach in copies trying to get sold. Let's try Capcom versus SNK 2, which I didn't know was even on GameCube.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's called Capcom versus SNK 2 EO.
Yeah, so I'm trying to tell you, when the announcement came out, everybody that still had original copies everyone that had original copies, they're now like, okay, we can go ahead and pay. We can go ahead and ask for a top dollar on this because they're not making them no more. But no, if they that's going to be another discussion we're going to have. If Capcom does go ahead and actually does come up with another collection, what fighting games could they actually put in there? Because that is a very good one. But moving right along. So Joe, Atelier, if I'm pronouncing this right, if I'm not, please tell me. Atelier Yuma, the Alchemist of Memories in the Envision Land. Want to tell folks about it, or just let the trailer play?
We'll go ahead and let the trailer run, and then I can talk a little bit about it.
All right. And here it is, the Alchemist of Memories in the Envision Land.
私の声を聞いている遠い時代のあなたへ命ある者は皆無数の記憶を積み重ねながら生きていくやがて記憶の雫は魂を育み形作る
ユミヤにとっては見えるのが正しいことでも正しいことって一つじゃないのよ。
すべて滅びたと思っていたが。
正しいことって何？絶対に許さない！
身の程知らず愚か者。
今日はそうただのご挨拶ですとも。
これが私の全力！
どうか真相を解き明かして。
Yeah, all right. What just happened?
All right, so that was a lot. That was Atelier Yumi, the Alchemist of Memories in the Envision Land, actually coming out early next year. So I was getting a little bit of a Stellar Blade, sort of a really a Chrono kind of play to it. But Joe, you got any background on this?
Yeah, I played all three of the past Atelier games. Atelier Rising 1, 2, 3.
I mispronounced that all the way wrong. Go ahead.
They are a RPG. I don't know if this is going to be action RPG this time around, but they are all very, very good, very competent RPG games. You do alchemy, so you gather items in the world and make armor, make items to further quests, make weapons, craft all sorts of like stuff. So it was a very, very well done RPG in the last series. I don't know if this is going to be action or turn based this time around, but I'm looking forward to the new one. This new one, the last trilogy made a fan of me out of me, so I'm very much looking forward to this.
Sweet. I might keep this on the back burner just to kind of give it a second shot because I was like, I do like the flow of it, so I may give it a try on the Switch. But Tafari, any comments on it?
I got nothing. That was basically felt like an anime season trailer. So
I got that too.
I know they at least put a lot of thought and work into the story aspect of that game. So it's for somebody.
Yeah. But that also being said, there is also a Castlevania Dominus collection. These were Castlevania games, which Joe let me know about because when these came out, I had no idea what they were. But these were games that were initially played on the DS, Nintendo DS, that are now going to be relaunched on the Switch. Okay, well that was cool. So that was actually Castlevania: The Dominus Collection. That's available now on the Switch. And like I was telling Joe and the others before the podcast started. Never really played these Castlevania games. I know, and now I know why. Just because they were on the DS. I didn't have a DS at the time. And I've been a fan of Castlevania since Symphony of the Night. Although Lords of Shadow is still probably my favorite interaction of the long running series. I may give these a shot, but what do you guys think?
I meant to say this during the Capcom thing. I like that more of these older games are adding that rewind feature because they put it on the PlayStation Store for not the Jack and Daxter collection, but the Daxter port and the Sly Cooper port. And it has made doing runs and like complete playthroughs so much easier. Because you don't have to restart the level or redo. You literally just press start and go back like a few frames and just undo the mix-up, which is perfect for games that you already played before. You're just doing so on a new console. So that is especially for games like Power Stone, because the final boss in the second one is kind of a pain in the ass depending on which character you play. and starting from scratch when that shit gets old fast.
Oh, you're not lying. You're not lying at all. But yeah, it is. I do like the fact, like you said, a lot of these games are adding a lot more features. I mean, you are getting a rewind version, you're getting the multiple saves, you're getting rollback netcode depending on if they're fighting games, play online. The fact you get to listen to the music, the soundtracks, the artwork. See, these are the type of games I don't mind paying extra money for because you're getting a lot more than just the game. So I'm all for that. I love to see when you see collections or rollouts like that it justifies the $60 price tag. It does, but
right.
Yeah, but I will definitely keep that in mind. But aside from that, we do have Fitness Boxing 3 because let's be honest, with the Wii, and I say Wii and then Switch, they've both been successful as far as fitness programs because let's be honest, this was around the time of COVID. You really couldn't go to the gym. A lot of people were stuck at home or working from home. So you worked out the best way you could, and Nintendo sat there and said, cool, we'll make you sweat on it. So this is actually the trailer for Fitness Boxing 3, your personal trainer.
Ready for your very own personal trainer?
Okay, let's get started. Ready? 1, 2, jump.
The latest entry in the Fitness Boxing series is punching its way onto Nintendo Switch. Newly added features make it easier to train more regularly. Use Quick Workout to jump into an exercise program right after launching the game.
Right. Put the punches together, but it looks like you've got more in you.
Once you're done, try going the distance.
With an extra workout?
With mitt drills, you'll practice with your instructor at your own pace.
Looking good.
And in Sit Fit Boxing, you can complete exercise programs while seated for a different training experience. 30 brand new songs are included. There are also 6 instructors, including 2 new ones. Plus, you can change their hairstyles. Let them motivate you as you work toward your goals.
Nice.
Fitness Boxing 3, your personal trainer, launches on the Nintendo Switch system December 5th.
Okay, so I know we're supposed to talk about the fact that fitness boxing is cool. The fact that I love boxing, I know Joe, he does boxing as well. But here's one thing I got to point out. Huh?
Before this heat wave, I was out there three times a week at night doing Switch fitness rhythm boxing too. I just can't wait to be doing this to the MIDI version of Danger Zone and Ghostbusters.
I got to point one thing out, Nintendo, and I will give you a complete credit for. I love the fact that you try to give us the Tyler Perry, Shamar Moore wig hairstyle for the black trainer. I will give you credit for that, even though I understand the Switch's technology is limited. I'm just saying
the hairstyle is toward the other side.
It's that one, and then you have Eddie Gordo. If Eddie Gordo decided to go into Tybo,
basically.
Which, again, I'm not knocking because we have said multiple times when playing certain create characters that they don't have hairstyles. I mean, Tafari's got locks. I've got locks.
They literally have your hairstyle in this game. It shows. They show it in this trailer.
Yes, and I'm not complaining.
The hairstyles is just different ways to wear the dress.
Yeah, it's different ways to wear it, and I'm not complaining because I'm the same guy who will sit there and, for example, play something like Remnant or somewhere else where you can customize your character's look. And I'm studying more, and I'll be honest, this is just me. I know people go looking for different themselves. I try to put myself on a video game, which means that I'm looking for my hairstyle. They have it. I will give Nintendo perfect credit for that. Sure, you made the black guy beefy. I appreciate that, but you also gave him locks. And you didn't screw it up. I'm just saying I'm appreciative. That's all I'm saying. But Fitness Boxing 3, again, Joe will tell you it's not a slouch, is it, Joe?
There are nights I will have boxed for 45 minutes, and I've thrown 1,400 punches that night.
Nice. But again, like I said, fitness programs, there's nothing wrong. And also, let me stress this very heavily. There's nothing wrong with fitness programs on video games. I understand people like going to gyms. People may not be able to go to gyms. You may not have the time. I know some gym fees are ridiculous. So you get your workouts however you can get into. There is no shame in working out. Because I know a lot of people actually use Just Dance for working out. They'll do whole workout routines to Just Dance.
Just Dance, Beat Saber.
Yeah.
You just don't hear about Ring Fit anymore because I think everybody realized Ring Fit is just there to try and kill you.
Ring Fit is designed to kill you.
I think nothing was stopping. Wii Sports was the goal, though. Nothing stopping that one. Just boxing along.
Wii Sports was. Woo-hoo.
You want to lose weight? Go play tennis.
Say what?
Said you want to lose weight? Go play tennis.
Dude. And then after a while, you get far enough in boxing, and the AI really starts fighting back.
Yeah. Or I was always a fan of the box. The boxing and the bowling was my two favorites. Because I would be sitting there, it's like, you know what? Why waste all this time going to a bowling alley when I can just fire up my Wii and I can just go ahead and have my 3 bowling games right there at the bed in the comfort of my own home. But again, we are not body shaming anybody. We're encouraging it because, again, if you have the ability to work out from home, please do so because trust me, you want to be active. Hopefully not in this heat because, 103 degrees.
That's literally the only thing holding me back right now.
Yeah, because weather right now is definitely, Mother Nature's mad at somebody. I just know that much. But we do also want to show some love to RDC World. Basically, Tafari, he brought this to our attention about the preview for Imagine That. Tafari, you want to just go ahead and play the trailer, or you want to talk a little bit about it?
No, so they've been, if anybody's been watching the streams, you realize they haven't been home for a while. They've been off filming this short project. And lately they have so many plug and whatever channels on everybody's streams these days. They upload it before they can. So I was surprised they didn't put it on YouTube and no one's really touched it yet. But they've clearly been away doing something and putting work into this. So they took a break for DreamCon, but this was nice to see. It's a nice little update in that they're not just bullshitting when they say they're actually working on stuff behind the scenes.
Nice. Well, with that being said, the clip for this trailer is called Imagine That.
Comes off till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, am I high? Perhaps I'ma rip this till my bones, till the roof comes off, till the lights go out, till my legs give out, can't shut my mouth, till the smoke clears out, am I high? Perhaps I'ma rip this till my bones, till the roof. So I
See, when you play a clip like that, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what's going on with this because I'm like, the first when I saw the book, I'm like, okay, is it kind of like it's like a Death Note spinoff, and then you just see the crazy fighting choreography, which again I loved on that too. So definitely gonna keep that in mind for when they actually do show the movie called Imagine That. Was trying to see if they had any more information on there, but it looks like it's directing them back to RDC World 1. But
yeah, it's so that's just a fan who uploaded it before they got a chance to. So that's why I was like, it's up there, but I'm surprised no one's done a reaction to it. But yeah, just the fight choreography alone and seeing how much they actually put into it and the special effects.
Yeah. It just looks cool. It really does look cool. I do want to see, I would hope RDC World 1, RDC World does come forward and it's like, really tell us more about this because I wanted to kind of have that Deadpool effect. Like, okay, if someone did leak it, may it catch fire and may it, more eyes get on it. But yeah, I'm down to watch that. It looks like it's going to be good. But I can't believe we're going to be doing this because Goat Simulator, I thought was a game that somebody had to be Snoop Dogg high to come up with. This game is pretty much the hold my beer answer to that, because it's literally called Squirrel with a Gun. And yes, it's kind of graphic. But if you haven't seen it, here's the trailer.
In a world of peace and tranquility,
This is SWAG Morning
homeowners will now hunt
are causing significant problems.
A hidden truth lies beneath the surface. An ordinary rodent's fate is within his grasp. Now this squirrel is here to eat nuts and shoot some guns. And guess what? He's all out of nuts. Expect sandboxing, puzzle solving, and gun-slinging action in the platform epic you never knew could exist. Hold on to your nuts. The food chain's got a new hierarchy. Get ready for Squirrel with a Gun.
Yep. Hold my beer. That is Squirrel with a Gun. As you can see, it's coming out for the PS5 October 15th. There's, I get, you guys remember Conquer for, you remember on the N64, Conquer's Bad Fur Day?
Fur Day, yeah.
Yep.
Is it not the next thing after this?
No, there's not enough flowers with huge boobs or.
We don't know that.
Give it time, yeah.
I'm just saying we don't know.
But we've had that. We've had Goat Simulator. We've had Destroy All Humans, which it gives you just as much sandbox goofiness to do in each level. So
yeah. It is interesting. I will say that much. I'm just hoping no one else is gonna try to top Squirrel with a Gun. But if Squirrel with a Gun is up, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a niche game for everyone. If this might entice somebody to play it, go for it. Not my cup of tea, but I'm not gonna knock those that might want to try it out. It's just wow.
It's gonna get a game. It's gonna get a Game Award nomination. Between that and Goat Simulator, it'll be up there for something ridiculous. I'm calling that now.
Oh, I believe it. I do believe it. I mean, especially with Goat Simulator getting remastered, and yet Germany was like, yeah. But again, as Joe said, Germans don't really move for much. But that being said, we do have another trailer before we get to My Hero in comic book news. Before comic book news, State of Wrestling. Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, which again is highlighting the original actor, or I should say, if you believe in certain circles, arguably the actor for Superman, although Henry Cavill did do a great job. But this is actually a movie that's going to be curtailing his life, even post the accident on the horse. And again, if you don't know about it, then you definitely really should give it a shot. But here's the trailer.
Everybody's looking for a hero. I am not a hero. That was a part. I played the part. I'm not that man.
Hands down, he was Superman from day one.
I realized that if I could pull off this part, it would change my life.
John Houseman said, Mr. Reeve, it is very important to become a serious classical actor. Unless, of course, they offer you a load of money to do something else.
He convinced me when I first met him that he would fly.
Doing things with my dad. It was all about activity and action. Riding bikes, playing soccer, skiing.
Carpe diem, Al! My dad was very competitive, and he didn't necessarily slow down.
We said goodbye, and he gave this wave. That was the last time I saw him on his feet.
Mr. Grieve currently has no movement or spontaneous respiration.
Superman? Crazy. Just that simple little thing over the horse.
I'd ruined my life and everybody else's. I won't be able to ski, sail, throw a ball to Will, won't be able to make love to Dana. Maybe we should let me go.
She came flying in and she just yelled, I love you. I love you.
And then she said the words that saved my life. You're still you, and I love you.
He and Robin were such good friends because they could match each other.
Robin also had struggles that he dealt with his whole life, and I think that they both were aware of darkness.
Brother Chris is fighting like crazy. When you find people who fight like that but still keep their humanity, that gives you great hope.
That is tough because I can feel him, but he can't feel me.
It must have been hell for my mom, too, knowing what she had lost.
I felt I needed to do something, not just for myself, but for everyone else in the same condition.
The fact that Superman was in a wheelchair and was willing to go public with it was huge.
Help is on the way.
The Christopher and Dana Reeve Paralysis Act.
People are literally walking because of him.
What is a hero? My answer was that a hero is someone who commits a courageous action without considering the consequences. Now my definition is completely different. I think a hero is an ordinary individual who finds the strength to persevere and endure in spite of overwhelming obstacles.
I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
I think that's going to be cool. So that was Superman, the Christopher Reeve story. That will be in theaters, being produced by DC Studios. So you know James Gunn is behind this. And again, if you don't know Christopher Reeve's story, definitely should give that a watch. But what do we think, guys?
So it was a fall on a horse that did it to him?
Yeah, it was a horse. It was when he fell off the horse is when he got paralyzed.
Oh, see, I missed that. Was it his cameo everybody was pissed about in The Flash, or was it somebody else?
Say what?
It was his. No, it was George Reeves. It was also him, but it was more George Reeves because George Reeves had no heirs and no one to sign off on it.
That's
so they just great.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. But
I didn't know him and Robin Williams were friends in real life.
Neither did I.
Christopher Reeves, he still had an estate because he's got his wife and kids, so they could sign off on it.
Yeah, so that's the wild part. I did not know they were friends, so that was definitely new to me. But it looks like it's going to be good.
They were roommates in Juilliard.
Really?
So that I didn't know. That I didn't know at all. Okay.
So yeah, probably more about Robin than we did. To the last day.
All I gotta sit there and say is imagine trying to have a conversation with that man and be serious at the same time. Especially with a guy that likes to break people out of character. Especially if all those you remember those Robin Williams outtakes from Mork and Mindy. Actually, Mork and Mindy, and there's another show where he was on where he just had everybody breaking character. But I feel like it's going to be a good movie. It looks like it's going to be a good documentary, so definitely we'll check that out. But anyway,
that's an Oscar.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely getting nominated for something.
So, My Hero Academia. So far, I did call this. There was another movie that was coming out that is just announced. It is called You're Next, with the enemy basically called Dark Might. Yes, that is the protagonist of this movie.
次は君だ。そう、これからは俺の時代。ダークマイト伝説の幕開けだ。
さっき私の邪魔をしてくれたヒーローのガキ様ですか。
助けてくださってありがとうございます。
球体にしがみつく者どもよ。 己の脆弱さを思い知るがいい。私が次を託した者はお前のすぐそばにいるぞ。やはり次は俺だな。次は極めついた僕だった。オールマイトから個性を受け継いだけど、あの人に追いついたなんてとても思えない。でもこのままの進路で進むと我が校に到達します。今失うわけにはいかないよ。助けよう。ここは俺が引きつける。守り抜くんだ。諦めるなんてらしくないんじゃない。もしもの時は私が私でいられるうちに。なんで邪魔をした。ヒーロー気取りの犠牲者が。俺たちはヒーローだ。俺が憧れた象徴は、俺はオールマイトの勝つ姿に憧れた。僕たち全員でオールマイトのように笑顔でみんなを助けるんだ。
I feel like this and Dragon Ball Daima are sneaking up on us, and there's been like no push whatsoever.
Right. This was actually just released today. I just actually double checked on this. So this news actually was today, as far as casting, because it just got English dub, and then of course it's going to be in theaters October 11th. So, you know, it's the funny part again with My Hero Academia. The actual current run is about to end. The manga just ended. What? 2
month and a half.
A month. Okay, thank you. A month and a half ago. So I guess it is fitting for it to have a fourth movie. I was wondering where it would be, because technically, from the look of Deku, this definitely is in the end of the all out war. So either it was before or about an after time he came back to my
Yeah, supposedly this is during the rest period at the school.
Okay, so this is after he came back.
So this is between the current arc and the last one.
Okay, so yeah, it's basically when he got reaccepted. Okay, I'm definitely down for it because again, My Hero Academia is still one of my favorite animes to watch. Although I know I'm still waiting on Fire Force, which won't be until next year.
Yeah, I didn't realize how short that series was either, because that and I think that it's trying to end alongside Dr. Stone, which if it does,
they're both going to be in at the same time.
Yeah, they both came in same, so we're leaving same time. That's fine. If we have to skip a season so that y'all can line it up, that's fine with me, because Dr. Stone is about to surprise a lot of people with what they do in the next few arcs.
Yeah, so it definitely will be worth. It'll definitely be worth theater watch. Just don't watch it in 4DX unless you're trying to take a roller coaster ride for 2 hours. Just throwing it out there. But anyway, moving right along the state of wrestling. Because again, two things we were going to talk about before we get to comic book pulls. We do have to start with what has occurred. AEW's All Out in London. Again, if you haven't seen it or don't want to know the results, now would be a good time to mute us, because we are going to talk briefly about it. And, was it a good booking decision? Was it good, bad? Was it bad? We're pretty much going to go into it. So, start first with the AEW World Championship. Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson. This was a title versus career match. Danielson did actually win. He is now currently the AEW World Champion. I'm gonna throw it to Joe first here. Did you like the booking on this one? Did you think it'd be different? What's your thoughts?
I didn't watch it.
Oh yeah, I thought you did. My bad.
I'm at work.
My bad. My bad. I thought you watched it. That's my bad.
I only knew about the Ricochet thing. That was it.
Yeah, Ricochet did actually appear during the Casino Gauntlet match, so he actually did make an impact there. So I will say this. I still believe Swerve Strickland should have had the title. Bryan Danielson is a guy who is literally looking at retiring, and for some odd reason, AEW putting the belt on him to continue him going there, it doesn't make any sense because, you know, Swerve is about to actually go into a feud with Hangman Adam Page. The title being on the line would have made that story sweeter, but still, I don't get the booking on that one. The AEW Women's Championship, Toni Storm versus Mariah May. Again, Mariah May did win. That made sense. Toni Storm has actually had the title for a little over a year. She's had a lot of great matches, great defenses. The whole story set up with Mariah May basically emulating her, following her, and eventually turning on her did make sense for her to have a heel championship run. Don't disagree with that at all. The AEW American Championship between MJF and Will Ospreay. Great match. Of course, it's Will Ospreay. What do you expect? MJF is no slouch either. But I did love the fact of, you know, Ospreay actually did winning the championship, and then now is in, you know, getting back the international title because MJF was really just running with the program. So that made sense. Can't knock that. TBS title, Mercedes Moné versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Mercedes Moné did retain her championship. I don't know what to think of it. I really do not. Just because of the fact of the matter is that I have said this before, not really high on Mercedes Moné just because of the presentation. The fact that you already put a title on her from when she faced Willow, you gave her an enforcer in Camilla. Even giving her a high-profile name like Britt Baker just does not seem to get Mercedes Moné over because, again, the crowd was a little bit on the dead side when that match actually occurred. So, honestly, it should have been Britt Baker actually winning the championship with Moné probably chasing her. It would have made it a better program. But, again, it seems AEW is high on Moné for reasons beyond my comprehension. The TNT Championship between Jack Perry and Darby Allin. I almost said Barry Allin. Again, Jack Perry actually did winning, putting Allin in a coffin match and slamming it shut. Dear AEW, Jack Perry is not getting over. No matter how many wins, no matter how many titles, no matter how many points you give this man, even dyeing his beard and calling him a scapegoat does not get him over. The man simply cannot draw. Please accept this. AEW World Tag Team Championship between FTR, the Young Bucks, and the Acclaimed. For some odd reason, we're still sticking with the Young Bucks. Not to say they're not a great tag team, but at the same time, titles have to change eventually. Whether it would be the FTR or the Acclaim, the belt should change hands. The fact that, you know, you're still running with the EVP kind of angle and them actually running the show just didn't make any sense. So definitely didn't agree with that. Casino Gauntlet match. At the end of it all, evil turtleneck Christian Cage did win again. Luchasaurus, they keep teasing the fact he's going to turn on him, never does. I don't know how long AEW keep running with that one. Also, the FTW Championship between Chris Jericho and Hook. Hook did actually win over Jericho using Red Rum. Even Taz got into it with the Taz Mission, which was actually a fun match, which is actually a fun thing to watch. So that wasn't actually a bad match at all. The London Ladder match for the World Trios titles between the Patriarchy, Bayman Gang, House of Black, and of course Pac and Bullet Club Gold. It just made sense that the Patriarchy was still going to keep it, just because that was more of a filler match. Nothing was really going to happen there. It was just pretty much carnage for about 45 minutes. Still fun to watch. Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii versus Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway. Pretty much a filler match. Willow Nightingale and company were going to win because, let's be honest, it was just basically just to appease the fans. And the other match that did happen in the 0 hour, which was the whole 8-man tag between Dustin Rhodes, Devon Eric, Sammy Guevara, and Katsuyori Shibata versus the Gates of Cage of Agony, Undisputed Kingdom. Fun match in itself, but pretty much time filler. But overall, AEW All in London was actually very good. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, you should. It's just, like I said, it was almost a perfect pay-per-view. It's just that there were some bookings that did not make any sense. Really did not. Excuse me. And also with WWE having their bash in Berlin, which is actually happening tomorrow at 1 p.m. because it's in Germany, we actually have some match predictions. And I'm just gonna throw it to you guys to see what you guys think of this. So I'll start with the first one. Undisputed WWE Championship match: Cody Rhodes facing Kevin Owens. Who do y'all think that they should be booking to actually win this match? Because again, Cody Rhodes still the current champion. Kevin Owens is kind of been hopping from one storyline to another, but for some odd reason they needed somebody for Rhodes to face in this overseas PLE. Who do you guys think? If you're the booker, who do you have winning?
Cody's not dropping that anytime soon.
Right.
Gunther is not dropping to Orton. Orton's just there to make him.
Wait. Stick with Cody and Kevin first. So we'll go down. We're going to go down each one of them, but stick with the first one first.
If he's just bouncing from place to place, then I don't think Cody's losing that one. And that's one of the few people I do know from wrestling.
Okay. All right. And what were you saying about the World Heavyweight? You say you were going with Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship match?
They're in Germany. They're not. He's not dropping the belt.
I agree with you because
it's not like when you go visit your hometown and drop the belt. You don't go to your home country and not win the belt.
No, don't get me wrong. I agree with you. It is pretty much his home turf, and Gunther's way over. So I definitely don't see Orton pull out a win there. What about the mixed tag match between Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley versus Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan?
That one I can't tell you. That's a 50-50.
That's going to split the group chat with Liv and Ripley. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. It's pretty much going to be I got Mysterio and Morgan winning because they're going to want to extend this storyline. And pretty much they're going to win. They're going to win dirty anyway. But it's funny that they win dirty, yet his nickname is Dirty. But they're gonna continue that storyline. So I definitely see those two winning in the mixed tag team match, just for them to come back on Raw and doing the whole another stipulation thing. The other match should be interesting though. The strap match between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. For all those that don't know what a strap match is, the strap match is basically a long pole thing of cowhide that's going to be timed between two people to where that strap can be used as a weapon, which means that there's somebody that's walking out of there with a red ass back and probably bleeding. I'm going to go first. I think probably Drew McIntyre is going to wind up winning this and extend the feud.
I don't even know why they're facing each other this soon.
They shouldn't be, but again, the fight card needed a match.
No, they may give this to CM Punk because he's already gotten a loss once.
I'm still saying it's going to continue.
So here's why I say this. That way they can go to Survivor Series one win each.
Oh, and have the road match.
Settle it there.
Okay, fair enough. I can see that too, but I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Or they give it to Punk and then have him fight Rollins the following month, because I don't know what October,
that would be I want to say because since we're on the wind down from the road to WrestleMania doesn't start till January. I forgot what October was. I want to say Elimination Chamber, but I'm not 100% sure about that.
No, Elimination Chamber is usually December.
Let's see.
It's not Halloween Bash because AEW does that one now.
Pretty much.
Or no, NXT does that.
Yeah, NXT does that. Oh, well, here's the crazy part. Now looking at the schedule. So after Bash in Berlin happens today over in Germany, the next one won't be until Crown Jewel in November 2nd. So, yeah.
So if I was smart, and this is purely arm back thing, give him this one, let Drew rest, throw him against Rollins. Rollins gets a win, and then have a triple threat to settle it once and for all at Survivor Series.
I can see that too, but I just hope they don't drag it. That's my big thing.
Oh, they're definitely going to drag it.
Well, I mean, to the point to where it's like what's going on with the bloodline right now. I don't need that dragged all the way out until WrestleMania.
That's the Mania. That's going to be the Mania match. You know that.
That's what I'm afraid of. But Tafara, what about you? Who do you got?
Probably Punk on that one. Then as far as this last one, I'm not familiar with most of these people.
No, nothing wrong with that. But the last one, the Unholy Union, which is I think Alba Fire and I forgot the other girl's name that fast. Damn, I really did forget her name that fast. Dawn and Fire. There we go. Versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the women's tag matches. I'm going to be honest. They've been trying to get the Unholy Union of those two over. However, they've been over since they got over in Scotland because that's their home turf, but not been able to find their footing anywhere else, not really defending their titles a lot. And every time they did have a match, it just didn't look that well. They actually need additional help to sell it. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are walking, talking Amazons. Why they do not have the titles is beyond me at this point. Why they're chasing the titles is beyond me at this point. If I was a booking person, I would say you want to put the belts on your most dominant group. It would be Belair and Cargill, but let's be honest, they're probably going to stick with the Unholy Union in that aspect. But like I said, I just like the fact that you actually have athletic women who look the part, act the part, have the mic skills, and yet, choose to not give them the proper just dues. But then again, that's just me. But that's actually going to be happening in 1 p.m. because, again, that is overseas. So definitely check out to see what we think of it and our grades for it. But aside from that, we do have a little bit of comic book news. And I was going to just bring that up 1 second because I'm kind of doing things on the fly as usual. So this was an announcement from San Diego Comic-Con about the new Justice League series announcement. Joe, you want to go ahead and take that one?
Yeah, Dan Mora and Mark Waid, two of the workhorses of DC, have officially going to be heading up the new Justice League in Justice League Unlimited, where we bring back the Justice League satellite. We'll have a constant rotating team. It's going to be very much like the old, the second season of Justice League, where we're going to get certain things. Our first lineup team is going to be Black Lightning, Star Sapphire, the Trinity, Captain Atom, and the Flash. I'm not sure if that's Barry or Wally. The eyes are visible, so I guess that's Barry, but I think they're going to be using Wally more because I've already got the previews that tell me no, it's Wally. So I guess gotcha. Wally gets a new suit. I'm looking forward to it. Mark Waid, probably one of the best writers DC's gotten in a while. His run on World's Finest has been nothing short of fantastic. If you're not familiar with Mark Waid, he wrote one of the greatest runs on The Flash in the history of comics. Dan Moore, if you don't know who Dan Moore is in the art industry, then you've not been listening to this podcast because Dan Moore is a beast.
Yeah.
That man works on Ninja Turtles. That man works on Power Rangers. Anything this man touches, fantastic. I do hope that this is the core lineup.
See, if it is, then I got nothing against that. I always sit there and say that that and Black Lightning, but I'm going ahead of that. But go ahead.
No, it's just I do want this to be like the core lineup. Like we know it's going to be changing, rotating roster. Because even the thing is like we got 92 heroes in this book we're going to be messing with because this is the direct fallout of the Absolute Power, which the new thing is all in because stuff happens and apparently there's a new universe they're also going to be promoting, which is the all in Batman, all in Superman, all in Wonder Woman Wonder Woman because she's carrying around Cloud's Buster sword and has tattoos, so we may look at that one.
I was gonna say, is this the one everyone's talking about with the big bulky Batman?
Yeah, that's the
So apparently, being poor means you get so jacked that you put Bane to shame.
Yeah.
And your bat symbol looks like a brick with knives that he can take off his chest and use as an axe.
Oh, okay, that's what that is.
It's at first I was like, okay. I'm
seeing the logo by itself is weird, but it works on the Batsuit itself. And this is a poor Bruce Wayne.
Yes, this is a different dimension because stuff happens to Darkseid. And this is like a world where the corruption of Darkseid is there, but also not. I don't know the full detail on that. I just know that we're getting some books. No one is getting rebooted, but everyone's gonna have like a flip book where one side is the normal book and one side is the all-in book, which I think is a god-awful idea. That never works out when they do that stuff. They need to separate the line and just say, if you want this book this way, if you want your superhero this way, it's over here. That flips stuff.
So you would basically get that.
Times. Yes, I wasn't joking. She has Cloud's sword.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. I had to go looking for it. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Superman has a 5 o'clock shadow. Batman looks like he's been going to Home Goods, and Wonder Woman has been around Midgard.
Superman kind of looks like live action Jaime Reyes, just with a bit more of a blowout.
A little
bit.
Also, his symbol is backwards.
Yeah.
Is it?
Or is there a shot mirrored? Is there a shot mirrored?
Backwards.
Is it shot mirrored, or is it literally backwards?
No, it's backwards. It is backwards.
The book.
Yeah, that symbol is definitely backwards. But yeah, that's the absolute DC lineup. But also there was also news about Black Lightning as well. And I forget, I'm gonna have to lean on this one to Joe again because he's got more onto this about Black Lightning and its writer.
Yes, Brendan Thomas has picked up the mantle and will be writing a new Black Lightning book. His website has not been updated since like 2021.
Right. I just want to show what it looks like.
So he is the writer for like. Yes. Once again, fantastic that we have people co-writing people of color. That is probably the best thing about DC and Marvel as of late is they are really pushing diversity. Writers of color to write characters of color. Actually, I think Kira finally got her wish, and I think a black woman is writing the Storm book. Am I correct?
Yes. You are right.
Good. That needs to happen. But moving over to this one. We'll get to Storm at some point when I think. We will cover that. Black Lightning is written by Brandon Thomas. In DC, he wrote some of the...
so just to kind of give an idea of this way he's written
Hardware,
as far as... Say what?
Hardware, he's written Batman Black and White. He also did some of the Aquaman stuff when it was about Calder. I think his most well-known book is Excellence.
Yeah, and Horizon. Excellence, Horizon, and Miranda Mercury. I couldn't think of it. Was on the tip of my tongue. I couldn't think of it, but he's also written that one too.
So the Black Lightning book promises to be about not only Black Lightning, but he's also Jefferson Pierce's two kids, Thunder and Lightning, will also be part of the book. Coexistence. It's for lines of war brewing in the suburbs of Metropolis, where people are getting. Looks like Orchis just decided to give up and go to the DC universe because it looks like it's humans versus metas.
Pretty much. So yeah, it's still the absolute power run going on. I'm not surprised by that. But as we get to our comic pools, because again, I just like the fact, like Joe said, people of color writing people of color stories. You can't beat that with a stick. We're actually waiting for the first Storm issue, which is I gotta look that up to see when it's actually coming out. But definitely looking forward to that.
Next week.
Is it next week? Okay. I had completely
Let me
forgot.
look.
But while you're looking that up, before we, like I said, I was looking up just to confirm it because we always want to be accurate on the show. We do want to shout out to Rick's Comic City. Again, if you don't know Rick's Comic City, they have been Nashville's #1 place to go to for comic books, for mangas, for collectibles, you name it, they have it. Definitely check out the locations in Nashville and Clarksville, Tennessee. Also, their website, rickscomiccity.com, as you see right there. Again, let them know that the guys at GetBit sent you. Doesn't get you any discounts, but you see our faces on their televisions. They show us love, so we want to show them love. Definitely check out Rick's Comic City if you are in the Middle Tennessee area. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, guys, please support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries. They need your support. They need your patronage because you're going there not just for your favorite comics or mangas or things of that nature. You are going for the experience. I understand Barnes & Noble is still a thing. Starbucks still a thing. But there's something going to a library or going to a comic book store that is an experience that you will never forget and will hopefully keep you coming back. And kids, in libraries, there's a section called Banned Books. I highly recommend, or I should say we here at the Give It Podcast, highly recommend that you do read the banned books. There's something there that they don't want you to know that you should know that will benefit you greatly. So from all of us here at Get Bit, please read the banned books. You'll be better for it. And again, support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries. You will miss them when they are gone. So, but Joe, you said, did you find out when that was going to be released?
October 2nd, and looks like it is a black gentleman writing Storm, not a black lady.
Oh, well, that changed.
Mildly disappointing, but still.
I mean, it's still a person of color, but I was kind of hoping it was.
Yes.
I kind of was hoping it was a female author. But I mean,
he had a very long run in 2023 with I Am Iron Man.
Okay, well, I mean, it's still a person of color, just not a woman, and that's. I guess we have to live with that. But
again, mildly disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, not like Squirrel with a Gun disappointed, but yeah. But with that being said, Joe, you got the comic book pool, sir. I know
you say that, and then you're going to play it. It's going to be one of the best things ever.
If I play Squirrel with a Gun, I will literally take you to whatever steak place you want to go to. I will, and I say this on recording for posterity. If I play Squirrel with a Gun, Joe, and I like it, you can name the restaurant, and I got the bill.
Okay.
I will literally say that if I agree, not to say, like I said, you have to far as a witness and you have this recording. So I cannot back out if I do like the game. But with that being said, I do see that you have the comic book pulls up, sir. So whenever you're ready.
We are back.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go for it.
Oh, okay. First off, we got Green Arrow number 15. That's written by Joshua Williamson with art by, I can't read that little, Amanki Nahudepan. Sorry about that. And colors by Ramon Ferrando Jr. This is a absolute power tie-in. The Arrow family is trying to first deals with Sentry Woman, who was a superhero way back in the satellite era of the Justice League, who turned out to be thought a Kryptonian, turned out to be a cyborg, but was being repaired by Ivo. But Amanda Waller wants Ivo because she's starting to realize something's wrong with her Amazos. So now it's a big battle of getting Ivo off the roof. Stuff goes wrong, and Ollie makes the choice of No, I need to be a good guy and save my family.
Yeah, that was an interesting one because it was a little on the convoluted side, but the end did kind of make up for it because again, you're kind of asking like, yes, he went because Waller did basically hold his family on triggers, but I mean, eventually he did get to where he needed to be. It was just the story kind of felt a little too long to get to where it should have gotten to, is what I'm trying to say, but still worth reading.
My whole favorite part of this book is where Cheshire's like, my favorite thing is Cheshire in this. It's like, I was like, I'll pay you more money if you betray everybody and get me out of here. Deal. And Lee Ann's like, Mom, seriously.
I was kind of messed up though, but you ain't wrong.
Love it. We also got Power Girl number 12. This is written by Leah Williams, art by Travis Moore, colors by Sebastian Chang. We are looking at this because I like Power Girl and She-Hulk ended, so we get some stuff. So her current love interest turns out to be Asgardian, and Axel, through sheer cosmic coincidence, happens to be the cousin of Siegfried, the Asgard that got with Wonder Woman during her trip to Asgard. And it's just a big date issue. It's fine.
Yeah, it wasn't my cup of tea, but then again, it was, it's something like it's like it was still.
I do like that she just like happily went into that giant.
Oh yeah, she just basically went to that big ass brawl. No, you're good. Or she just basically went to that big ass brawl and was so everybody just fights and clears out the place.
It's like, wait, everybody can take one of my punches? Yippee!
Yeah, I mean, I don't get me
It'd
wrong.
Be like telling Goku, they can all take a punch.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. It was pretty much Goku like, oh, everybody can fight, and goes right on in. Jesus.
I enjoyed it. The artwork was probably my favorite thing about this book. This had some killer artwork. Travis Moore does good work.
I agree.
Next up, we're looking at Absolute Power Task Force number 7. This is the Flash issue. This is the one I felt convoluted because I couldn't tell who was talking half the time. Because the way the text boxes were a little bit while they were running, I couldn't tell if it was the Flash or the robot talking.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You had the same problem?
Yes. That was exactly the problem with this one.
Okay, I'm glad it wasn't just me. This was written by Alex Packendale with art and color by Pete Woods. Okay, moving over to Marvel. This was good. This was amazingly good. So this is Aliens versus Avengers, written by Jonathan Hickman, art by Asad Ribic. If you don't know who he is, he did the artwork for the, I think, Avengers versus Inhumans versus, or no, Avengers versus X-Men versus Eternals. He did the Axe event.
Mm-hmm.
Colors by Ives Savonic. So in the very far future, about maybe 40 years in the future, the Shi'ar are testing xenomorph eggs on the Kree, and they wander into the Galactic Wakandan Empire where T'Challa and his son Zuri, who is the son of Black Panther and Storm, they really like using him a lot whenever it's a future thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then
no, go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
What?
No,
then just things spiral out of control out of there because an alien who I guess was obsessed with not a xenomorph alien, but a space alien populates the Earth with drop pods that contain 4 queen eggs and at least one person already impregnated with an alien. Everybody dies. Everybody dies. Like only Captain Marvel, the Hulk, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, everybody, just like everybody's gone. The Xenomorph, the ones that held out the longest were Wakanda, and that's pretty much, and even they fell. So the Earth is just one big hive.
I could have sworn, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't this an Aliens plot movie? Wasn't the plot of this so far an Aliens movie that's already happened?
No, I mean it's kind of similar to AVP, but like this was done externally, not like the predators come down and like start a controlled experiment, a controlled hunt. This was just like we're gonna get rid of it. I love what the mutants did because they're just like, we're going to Mars. Peace. We out.
Because I was like, it was because I kept on reading this. I'm like, I've seen this story somewhere. And don't get me wrong, it's Aliens. You're trying to give it a fresh part. And I think that's gonna be me fighting my own bias because I'm like, every time I see Aliens, like last week we covered Aliens versus Black Panther, now it's Aliens versus Avengers. It's like you're trying to fight the bias of what you already know and trying to give this story a fair shot. And I think that's the reason why I kind of struggle with this issue, because it's like, how many other ways can we tell the story about the Xenomorphs?
Last week it was Predator versus Black Panther.
Oh, thank you. Predator versus Black Panther.
Clearly a different run than if everybody's just getting offed in the first book.
Right.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I love that they learned the only way to fight the parasite that is the facehugger is with a symbiote.
Mm-hmm. There's just something.
So like Venom is like critical in this. Miles gets new suits.
Right.
But man, I like this was really, really fun. Like I want to see what happens because I love that the mutants immediately dipped out, because I guarantee you Scott was like looked at one facehugger was like, oh, they take the traits of whatever they get a hold of. Nope, we're out. We're out. It's like I have to deal with the Brood already. I can't deal with the Brood and this crap. We're going to Mars.
With the quickness.
Even like all right, moving on. We got Phases of the Moon Knight #1. This is Schultz with art by Manuel Garcia, inks by Sean Parsons, and then another story. This is which is written by Benjamin Percy and art by Rod Reese. This is a slight continuation of what's going on while Jed MacKay is doing cleanup duty for Blood Hunt. We see that the false Moon Knight is giving Mark a bad name because people truly believe he is Moon Knight because he keeps on like nearly murdering supervillains in the name of the moon. Every time I say that, I can't like always have to think about that because of Sailor Moon. Like I always have to stumble on that. And meanwhile, we are also given a small story about possibly the first Moon Knight during the Crusades, and how the Catholic March wanders into Sabinora's territory, and Apocalypse makes quick work of them, but apparently he kills Apocalypse. But no one can really ever kill Apocalypse truly, so.
That's true.
Good book. Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I did read Amazing Spider-Man number either 750 or 800 or something. It was a mess. A mess. But we're not looking at that because we just don't look at those Spider-Man books.
There's a reason. I'm sorry, Joe. There's a reason.
We'll get to more. Oh, I know. That book still is just a mess. But we're looking now at NYX number 2, which I think did have a stronger story versus the first issue. This is written by Jackson Lanzig and Colin Kelly with art by Francisco Motorino and colors by Raul Angelillo. This one is more focused on Laura. Laura trying to be the Wolverine that she is, trying to go it alone after using help from everybody and immediately getting in over her head. And then realizing, oh no, I do need my friends, which is weird which is not too weird because we need to remember this lore is not the lore we were with for the past 5 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. This is a clone, a rebirth clone of OG Laura, who is now dead and not coming back, who died during the end of X. So she is a little younger and needs to learn some lessons. I felt that this story was much stronger than the first NYX because it focused more solely on an individual character than a group of characters trying to be 20-somethings in downtown New York mutant area. What'd you think?
This one, I guess, is probably going to probably be, I'm not the target demographic for it because it kind of lost me a little bit in the story. It kind of lost me as far as the pace, so I just chalked it up to it just might not be for me. Although artwork is great.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it just might not be for me.
The twist of who the villain is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we got X-Force number 2. This is written by Jeffrey Thorne, art by Marcus Toe, and colors by Erica Arcania. X-Force heads to Wakanda, which has been turned into a D&D world because someone got a hold of a Nazi sacred drum and it to turn everything into what he ever wanted. Now, that's pretty much the book. Good book.
Yeah.
X-Force continues to probably be the best of the X titles. What'd you think?
Yeah, it was a lot. Like I said, it wasn't good. It wasn't
like the first
X-Force. The first X-Force was actually good, and I don't know what happened with this one. It's just it wasn't bad, but it didn't have that same as the first issue. So I just chalk it up to it was a miss on this one.
Yeah. X-Men number 3. This is written by Jed McKay, penciled by Ryan Stegman, inkers by J.P. Meyer and Luce, colors by Marty Garcia. We just get a big rundown of with Scott, who's like goes to meet the U.S. government's like, you guys need to leave us alone. I took care of this town and the Sentinel factory that you guys put here as part of my very, very extensive lawsuit settlement against the United States for the murder of my people, the death of my wife, the improper arrest and torture. And I didn't take you guys for everything that you're worth. Dude, for the U.S. government is like, screw you. Scott's like, no, you are definitely going to listen to me because I can kick this up a notch legally because you know I know people.
Or I could just call my wife.
Also, the X-Men, yeah, or just call my wife. I mean, if he wants to go nuclear, he literally has a nuclear option.
That is true.
Meanwhile, the X Factory, always want to say X Mansion, but it's the X Factory, gets invaded by the U.S. government. It does not go well for them.
That was almost Magneto-like.
I mean, the only one that really had a problem was Beast, but that's because they took him by surprise because of cloaking stuff.
Yeah,
everyone else handled it just fine. But like the highlight is just Scott sitting there like Pasha's like kind of
but
Oni.
Scott did pull a Magneto where he's pretty much sat there and said, "Oh, by the way, these guys try to invade the factory. You can take them with you." And the fact that they were all still alive, that's very Magneto of him.
I thought Temper killed those two in the Cerebro chamber. I really did.
It looked like she did. That's what I was surprised about.
Hell yeah. All right, this is probably one Will's going to make fun of me endlessly for. So, Chasm, Curse of Cain, #1. Written by Steve Fox, art by Andrea Buccardo, and covers by Brian Reber. Where to begin with this? First off, congrats on putting Cain back in a book. He really does need his own book. It seems like this is actually kind of a rehash of the original Ben Reilly Spider-Man run after he came back to life in Clone Conspiracy. Except the setting is New York as opposed to Vegas because Ben's kind of a dick in this one. Cain's trying to find out what's going on with him. He, of course, says, like, well, if he's like this, I'm okay killing him. And then we learn that Druig may have been behind this the whole time and has been actively siphoning memories off of Ben to drive him nuts and make him easier to control. So this is the first issue. This was fine. I recognize its flaws. I'm always going to call a spade a spade. I recognize its flaws. It is not the strongest book. I think it's ridiculously stupid that we're using an Eternal that no one really cared about during the Axe event to be the main reason why Ben maybe like this or actively like this. I think that's dumb. But Cain being in this is good. I think he did a good job with him in this one. Cain, much like any other Spider-Man clone, still has the Parker luck, especially in his own apartment. We'll see where this goes. I mean, I'm going to read it because it's me. I like to hurt myself, and this is how. Look, I told you, I call a spade a spade. I call a spade a spade.
I'm trying not to laugh. Because I know that was painful.
You can't. I'm being honest.
No. I'm saying that issue. I completely lockstep agree with you because I was like, I know this is killing. I know that hurt Joe's
soul. The weird horror element too in it is weird.
Yeah. That fact that just the whole invisible hand guiding him. It's like, okay, yeah, that this is what they came up with.
Like I said, it's fine. We have literally looked at worst Spider-Man titles, so
that is true.
Yeah.
Go back to Amazing Spider-Man one day, and then we'll end out night with Void Rivals. It's written by Robert Kirkman with art by Lorenzo De Fauci and colors by Federico Delfici. So Saleya and Darek figures the final issue of the first arc. I would probably remember everybody's names. Have to go everybody's separate ways. Their two species are somewhat starting to coexist, but the two Primarchs are like, look, union can't happen. Bad things will happen. If those two get together in any sort of way. And we do see what happens when their jewels touch. Apparently Unicron wakes up for a hot second. Or something wakes up. I don't know if it's Unicron, but it is looked definitely like a planet-sized transformer, just like activated for a hot second. We see some other things. The Scuzoid finally gets his victory. That's really about it. But this was a good book. I do like the mystery of who that Unicron like head shape.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know, but it's the Energon universe, so that's quite possible.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to read this one. So, but so far from the previous issues I've read, that it's still a good story. I just haven't had a chance to catch up and catch this latest issue.
It's the very traditional enemies to frenemies to friends, caught behind enemy lines and whatnot. Except you add more Transformers into them.
Gotcha.
No, it's fine. That's all the books.
All right.
Book of the week. What are we doing for book of the week? I can't faith make a chasm. We'll say it's Aliens versus Avengers this week. Look, I love Ben Riley, but again, I am incredibly biased, but I am also incredibly fair.
I was so gonna say, if he says chasm, I'm gonna say wow. If you say that, I was gonna say you have a lot of faith in that book. But all right. Thank you, Joe, for the comic book pool, sir. We appreciate it. But as
I do have faith in the book, but I will also go spade to spade.
I know you will. I'm just like you made it to the end. I'll give you that. But as we wrap this up, guys, we do want to say thank you for all those that liked, that watched, that let people know that we were live. We appreciate that. But as we wrap it up, Tafare, you want to let people know what you're up to, sir?
So, still doing edits for Blurs on my side. We just dropped an interview today with Atan Wakane, who plays young King T'Chaka in Black Panther and in What If. Really fun conversation about him, his dad, theater acting, taking up the mantle, coming back to the role post, which it's been 4 years now. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Next week, we have our interview with Phil Lamar. That is dropping on my own channel, which you can find under this name. I'm doing a rewatch of X-Men Evolution since 97 is no longer here to occupy our Wednesdays. So doing that, dropping the convention guideline stuff in bits and pieces. Also working on a video for the 25th anniversary of Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast. So a lot of stuff coming out next week. Stay tuned.
Nice. All right. Joe, you want to let people know what you're up to, sir?
Streaming Monster Hunter. I might start streaming Star Wars. It just kind of depends if they'll let me, because Ubisoft is weird on their streaming stuff. Safari and I are still going strong on Ultraman. We just got through with episode 7, where we got to see Ultraman fight an alternate version of Incineroar from Pokemon Sun and Moon. These designs are getting to become more and more Pokemon-like. No, really, they are. Like, this one looked like, what if Incineroar stayed on all 4 feet?
We had not Pikachu a couple episodes ago, too.
I mean, that's kind of fit with the universe. I kind of see that.
We got his second power-up this season, which is the Moon Armor. So once again, in the name of the moon, he punishes somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, we're going pretty okay. We're just going to see what happens. I think I know what we'll try next. But, no, we're having a great time. Other than that, just work.
Gotcha.
Work and start with the Star Trek thing, which reminds me, I will probably not be here on the
Is it an event or what?
I'm gonna go to Beetlejuice with them.
Okay.
Yep. Starts to Star Trek.
The 13th, the 13th, because it's the big time Star Trek convention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which again, that's like I said, the 13th. So that's it's still a couple of weeks out. But yeah. But okay, definitely know about that. So again, if you are in the Nashville, Tennessee area, we are getting a Star Trek convention here. So I think tickets are still available. Joe, is that right?
Yep. I got a code via a friend who gave me half off general admission.
Nice.
So $130 became $60.
Nothing wrong with that. Run with it. Well, before I do get to myself, some shameless plugging as usual, guys. I do want to talk about Blurred Station. I keep talking about it. Tafara has talked about it. Various cohorts have talked about this. This is the vehicle, the table that we can, the content that we own can be shown for the world to see. Again, $10.99 a month for blurredstation.com. Definitely check it out. If you do want to join, select the Blurred's Eye View Affinity membership. Select either Tafari TV or myself, Black Spartan. Either one of us, we would certainly appreciate it. Again, after 36 months of paying $10.99 a month, you do have the option of owning a piece of Blurred Station. Owning a piece of a media conglomerate has never been so easy. At the same time, if you do have content that you would love to have on Blurred Station, you first have to join as a member. Once you have joined, you'll be able to speak to those behind the curtain. If all works out, then your content will be on Blurred Station as well. You get to own the content. They just keep a little bit of the distribution. At the same time, guys, myself, Black Spartan 615, Black _ Spartan 615, where you can find me on the interwebs. Again, definitely follow us wherever podcasts can be seen or heard, whether it's also on Facebook and YouTube. Follow the share the groups as well. Also, check out Blurred's Eye View, as we are now still running a lot of our interviews, but the show will return back in September. So definitely join us there every Tuesday and Thursday, as you see Tafara and myself there as well. Also, check out Always Record TV, APR TV, which the show is shown there on Roku devices, smart devices, and televisions. You get to see our handsome mugs on the face of your television screens or wherever you may prefer. Just don't make it weird. At the same time, guys, the link at the bottom, if you copy and paste that link into your browser, you can link to the YouTube and Facebook groups for all the podcasts. Like, share, follow, subscribe. As Reverend Navy would say if he was here, but he's too busy having the time of his life at Dragon Con. I'm not jealous at all. A like, a share, and a follow cost nothing, but would mean everything. So simply put, guys, share as we do. At the same time, guys, definitely check out Tafari TV, because as cons are going on, as I just talked about, Dragon Con is going on downtown in Atlanta. He has 2 videos about cons: how to prepare, how to survive, and what to do post-con. Technically, has 3 videos. I can't count. But anyway, definitely check them out, because they do have a lot of information, especially the rules that I say about cons. Number 1, respect the cosplayer at all times. Cosplay is not consent. You always should ask and treat them like human beings. It's that freaking simple. Cosplay is for everybody, regardless of your height, weight, or preference. The only rule about cosplay is don't do blackface. Don't want your ass kicked at a con. Don't do blackface. It's that simple. Number 2 is hygiene. Guys, clean clothes, clean wear, wash your hair, deodorant, lotion, the whole 9 yards. You're going to basically be in an area that has next to nothing in personal space. The last thing you want to be is funky as hell. Please come clean, be clean, and everything will be cool. And again, the third rules I have for myself as I have for everybody else, guys, in a world that is cruel, that is basically just completely unkind. The thing that you can do at cons is be nice. Be nice, share your fandoms, don't be a dick, and we'll all be cool. But as we wrap this up, guys, we do, again, want to thank everybody that did watch and like and let people know what's going on. We will hopefully be back here next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel, with news of the week. So with that being said, guys, any last words we call tonight?
Physical media forever. Capcom is back.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And
No, I'm going back to playing Star Wars.
If you do have copies of SNK, or Neo Geo, or any of those old titles, might have a come up. That's all we say. But anyway, please, guys, stay hydrated, take care. Mother Nature is not playing right now. At the same time, guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll all get through this. Peace.